Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our first impressions of the brand new album from Brand of Sacrifice titled Lifeblood. Brand of Sacrifice has been hitting home runs for the last few months with all the singles they've been dropping. We've reacted to most, if not all of their videos, and they have been really good. There's a good, nice, fresh sound they're bringing to the table. They're doing new things. They're experimenting with things here and there. And it all sounds really fucking good. We are hyped for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited to check this album out because based on everything we've seen, everything we've listened to, this is going to be a great album. And these guys are white hot lately. Like, everyone's been talking about these guys since they started dropping videos for this. Their second album, by the way. Their second LP. So they're still a pretty fresh band, and they've brought a lot to the table.
Yep, so we're excited. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to go listen to Lifeblood for the first time in its entirety, and we'll be back in just a minute to give you guys our first impressions. All right, we're back. We just listened to Lifeblood. TV Fish, take the floor.
All right, guys. We were really hyped for this album, and I would say that Brand of Sacrifice certainly delivered. This was a really fun album to listen to. So we always like to, end off our thoughts on high notes, so I'm going to start with, what I rated the lowest. And it's a tie between track 6, Perfect World, and track 10, Ruin. One thing to mention is that there are actually a lot of features on this album. There's at least 4 or 5? 5 features. You don't see that many typically on albums, so it's really cool to see that many different artists collaborating with Brand of Sacrifice for this record. So Perfect World is just an interlude track. It's a really nice sounding piano. I think it's a good track to break up the pace because it is a really intense album. But it was just kind of an interlude, like, okay, it's there, whatever. Ruin, which features Tyler Shelton of Traitors. I didn't really have much to say about that song. That's really the only issue I had with it. It wasn't a bad song, but it's like, with other songs, I had some stuff to say, so this one I didn't really have much. All I said, the outro was neat sounding.
Yeah.
That's really it, so nothing super duper special. Now as for my higher rated tracks, pretty much, even though there's one that is my highest rated, but I believe that there are 3 that kind of belong in this category of my favorites on the album. Those are the title track, Lifeblood, Vengeance, track number 9, and track number 3, Animal. Animal being one of the ones we reacted to. I think they also made a video for the title track, and we checked that out too.
Maybe.
Not 100% sure on that. But one thing that makes the title track so awesome is that before it, you have Corridor of Dreams. And it's a really pretty sounding interlude, and I think it works because it really builds up to something huge. And then you have Lifeblood, which just explodes everything right after that. Like, you get a build up to a huge payoff.
Yeah.
Starts down with a disgusting breakdown. It slams hard. There's a nice build up with the choir, which comes back a few times in this album.
Yep.
And then just an awesome breakdown at the end. Like, I think it's an amazing way to end the album on.
Yeah, I agree. Lifeblood was actually one of my highest rated songs as well. As a last song, I think it did very well. One of the riffs near the beginning of the song, a lot of you probably won't know what this is, but maybe you will, I don't know. But if you know the artist Stitches, he's a rapper, but he's got a song. It's basically his only good song. It's called Brick in Your Face. But the riff in that song, or the riff in that song sounded similar to the riff in this song. So I had a little bit of a throwback memory. I thought that was kind of weird, and not like they're ripping it off or anything, just very similar. But anyway, that Animal was also one of my top rated songs as well. That song is one of the songs with the choir element, which is, like TV Fish said, it's throughout the album, you hear it here and there, but it's very tastefully done. It's not oversaturated, it's not too much, it's very tastefully done. Same thing with the alien core guitars. You hear that from time to time. Again, it's not in every song, it's not the main riff, style in every song. Very tastefully done. I like that because those are things that I'm not the hugest fondness over, but in this album, they were done in the perfect amount of ways to make me go, yes, that's just enough to make this song sound unique or sound different than something else.
Yeah, both the choir and the bleeps and bloops from the guitars are used, just kind of sprinkled out throughout the album.
Exactly.
Used really well. In regards to Animal, honestly, it was an amazing song as I'm listening to it, what put it over the edge for me is when he says, "This is the fate of the branded." And when that happened in the breakdown, I was just done. I'm like, okay, this song's just god tier.
Well,
ridiculous.
Breakdown aside, because that was badass. The chorus of this song,
Oh yeah,
is the bounce in the chorus is fucking awesome. Gets you moving. Yeah, Animal's probably gonna remain my top song. I'll be surprised if anything surpasses that, but who knows? It could happen. One common note I made throughout this album is that it's nasty. It's just nasty.
That's
the
true.
vocals on this album are fucking great. And here's the thing, like TV Fish said, there's 5 features from different vocalists on this album on different tracks. I'm not familiar enough with Brand of Sacrifice to really know what his vocal range and style is compared to these other singers. There's a couple that I'm familiar with, like Jamie from Silosis is on a track, Ben Jur is on a track. Those are probably the only 2 that I'm actually familiar with. So you can kind of hear the differences in their voice when they're singing, but dude, the vocals are just mean on here. There's so many, there's gurgle gargles, there's pig squealies, there's all kinds of harshes, some high harshes, lots of lows obviously. Really, really good performance. The guitars also really good, drums awesome.
oh yeah,
Lots of really sick double bass.
fills in there.
Saucy, I love that word. That's really nice. Saucy fills, I like that.
I wrote that note a few times.
Saucy fills. I don't think you've said that on this channel before, but that's a good one. I like that.
Only use it when necessary.
Yeah, so I felt like this is one of those albums where I was a little bit, I don't want to say overwhelmed, because it was like just an album, but there was a lot to take in.
There is a lot to this
There's
album.
a lot packed in there. So a lot of the songs I didn't have a lot of notes because it's just like, what do I write? Oh, more nasty vocals. Oh, more cool riffs. Oh, more awesome breakdowns. Like, I can't write the same notes for every song, so it's gonna take a week of listening to pinpoint and find those moments that really caught my attention but didn't at the same time. That kind of flew over my head maybe. But yeah, I think there's a lot going here.
What were your thoughts on Vengeance? Because I did mention that is one of my favorite tracks, and before I get into that, I want to know, like, what were your thoughts on that?
My main thought about that song is that it was one of the first songs where the dual vocals actually made a notable difference. Because all of the other singers are basically like guttural growlers in a sense.
They're part of the same pocket.
Whereas Jamie is a different kind of singer. So when he sings, you hear that difference. There's a duality there. There's a different element in play. So that was my biggest takeaway from that song. Thought it was a good song, but again, it had a lot of the same elements that the rest of the songs had, where it's just brutal, it's fucking gnarly, it's nasty, and it just slays.
Well, you are correct on that front, but I actually think it's a very unique song for this album because the way that they go through this song rhythmically is a lot different than the rest. Because the rest are, what you would expect from deathcore, really fast or really crazy, a lot of, whatever slow breakdown sections. But this one is kind of a consistent, bouncy groove you might expect from maybe new metal songs, maybe.
didn't notice.
And there are some melodic vocals in the chorus as well. And you mentioned that it is one of, the only features where it's really discernible that the vocals are different. But I just found it to be like a really standout track among the rest of the album. Like, yeah, none of the other tracks really sound just like it. Of course, all the songs are nasty. Like, they all share that. But I felt like that one was a standout track just for changing it up a little bit.
Interesting, I never noticed that, but I will be looking for that while we listen to the album as much as we possibly can for the entire week. Guys, that's it for this First Impressions. Make sure you leave a comment down below and let us know what you guys think of Lifeblood. Now that it's out, we know you guys were all hyped for it like we were. But that's it for this video, guys, so leave a like. If you liked it, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys on the next video.